Tennis rules and tennis scoring can often seem a little bit tricky when you first start playing, so here's our guide to give you everything you need to know so you can get on court and start playing. Tennis is a sport played on a tennis court, and that is either 1 versus 1, which is singles, or 2 versus 2, which is doubles. The objective is to win more points and therefore more games, and in the end more sets, quicker than your opponent. This is usually in a best of 3 format, but you'll see Grand Slam tournament matches for the men are played best of 5 sets, and there are some other alternatives which we'll cover later. To win a set, you must win 6 games and be ahead by 2. To win a game, you must win 4 points and again be ahead by 2. The scoring works as follows in a game. 1 point equals 15, 2 points equals 30, 3 is 40, and 4 is game. If the score reaches 40 all, 40-40, this is called deuce, and at this point a player needs to win 2 consecutive points to win the game. After a player wins their first game, this would be called advantage, so it'd be advantage me, advantage you, and the second point wins them the game. You may have seen in doubles the introduction of a deciding point or sudden death point when the score is at 40 all. If this rule is in place, when a game reaches 40 all, or 40-40, 1 point is played to decide the outcome of that game. The serving team decides which side they want to serve from, and 1 point is played to decide the game. A tennis court is divided into different areas by lines. This is the baseline. This is the service line. This is the centre line. This is the inside sideline. And this is the outside sideline, sometimes referred to collectively as the tram lines. A singles match is played within these highlighted areas, and a doubles match uses the whole court. There are more players on the court, so more space is needed. A game starts with 1 player serving. The server must have both feet behind the baseline until after they've made contact with the ball, and this contact needs to be made without the ball bouncing. So the ball goes up and is struck without it bouncing before it goes over the net and into the service box. So this serve must go diagonally across the court. So from the right side or from the deuce court, you serve diagonally over the net and into the service box. When you get to the advantage court or the left-hand side, again the serve goes diagonally across the net and into the service box. Each player has 2 attempts to start the point. They have a first serve, and then if that isn't successful, you guessed it, they get a second serve. Failing to get the ball over the net and into the correct box is called a fault. And failure to do that on both your first serve and your second serve is called a double fault and will give a point to your opponent. The other thing to consider on a serve is a let. That's when the ball clips the net cord, which is the very top part of the net. Ball clips the net cord on the serve and goes over and into the box still. So only on the serve is a let applicable. And what happens when a let, if the ball clips the net, goes into the box, you call let, and the person who served gets that serve again. So if I was to have a let on my first serve, I would get my first serve again, and should I require it, I would then have my second serve to follow. If I have a let called on my second serve, then I get my second serve again. If the ball clips the net and lands out, unfortunately, it's just out. And if the ball clips the net during normal play, during a rally, and goes over and into the court, then you just have to get on with it. It's just unfortunate. When receiving the ball, the opponent must let the ball bounce before playing it back. Then throughout the rally and throughout tennis, players are allowed a maximum of 1 bounce, unless of course you're playing wheelchair tennis, in which case 2 bounces are allowed. With that in mind, there's no reason that you can't play someone in a wheelchair versus someone not in a wheelchair. You just have 2 bounces on the wheelchair side, 1 bounce on the non-wheelchair side. The aim of the game is to then play the ball back over the net and into the court, and for your opponent not to be able to get it back. Simple enough. If you manage to play the ball into the allowed areas and your opponent isn't able to get it back, then you win a point. Again, to win a game, you need to win 4 points and be ahead by 2. After a game is won, the other player then gets to serve. This swaps after each game until the player has reached 6 games and is ahead by 2. After every odd game, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, you know your odds and evens, players swap ends of the court. Are you with me so far? If not, don't worry, there are downloadable documents that cover everything we talk about now. If the score gets a 6-all, then a tiebreak is played. Tiebreak is usually the first to 7 points, and again you have to be ahead by 2 points to win the tiebreak. If you've been watching any doubles, you'll see a 10-point tiebreak being played in lieu of a final set. It's exactly the same as a normal tiebreak, you're just playing to 10 rather than 7. Whether to 7 or 10 points, a tiebreak works as follows. Player A starts serving from the deuce, or the right hand side of the court, and they serve for 1 point. So 2 attempts to start the point, you play for 1 point. The serve then swaps to the opponent, they then serve from the left side, and then the right side, so they serve for 2 points, and this goes back and forth until a player has reached 7 and is ahead by 2. After 6 points in a tiebreak, you swap ends. The reason that we swap ends after 6 points during the tiebreak, or every odd number of games during the set, is just for balance, for parity. There might be wind blowing in a certain direction, the sun might be shining a certain way, so we make sure that we play a similar amount of time on each end of the court to make it fair. If you're looking for a shorter set, maybe you're short for time, maybe you've got to fit in a few matches in a day, it might be a day tournament, you can use a fast 4 format. The scoring for a fast 4 works exactly the same in terms of the games, it's just a shorter set. So it's the first of 4 with the tiebreak being played at 3-all. You see this in some of the next gen tennis, and again, like I said, you might see it in some sort of day tournaments where lots of matches are required to be played in that day, so shorter sets are played. Now, that's the scoring and the rules. But what about some of the things that you cannot do on a tennis court? You cannot play a ball so that it lands outside the area of play. That would be out. You cannot play the ball into the net so that it lands on your side. You cannot let the ball bounce twice unless, as already mentioned, you're playing wheelchair tennis, in which case it can bounce twice. You cannot strike the ball twice unless with one fluid motion. So you can't tap it up and smack it down, but if you were to swing and it was to accidentally hit the frame and then the strings, that would be acceptable. And you cannot touch the net at any point. You cannot touch the ball with any part of your body. And that includes catching it. So even if you know a ball is sailing way out, you can't call out and catch it, you must let the ball bounce. And you cannot call out while your opponent is playing. So if I play the ball over the net and my opponent's about to strike, I can't go, ooh, ah, whoa. I can't make any noise. Now, that might seem slightly confusing because you'll see a lot of the pros making noise as they strike the ball. And this may be considered some interference. And in the past, it has been said that the grunting of the players is used as a tactic. Debatable, controversial, but not quite hindrance. All of these infractions will lead to a point going to your opponent. So that's it. Have fun, because it's important to remember that tennis is fun, or it's supposed to be at least. Good luck.